make no mistake, we are a nation at war. 14 years after 9/11, the fight against Islamist terror rages on, and our adversaries have opened up new battlegrounds across the world. Our own city streets are now the front lines. Indeed, San Bernardino was not an isolated event. Terrorists are on the offensive, working to deploy operatives to our shores and to radicalize our citizens to commit acts of violence. So I was disappointed last night when the president failed to lay out any new steps to fight this threat. Instead, he doubled down on a strategy of hesitancy and half measures. This should not just be a wake-up call, it should be a call to action. For far too long, we have allowed extremists to reclaim their momentum, surging from terrorist cells into full-fledged terrorist armies. As a result, I believe the state of our homeland is increasingly not secure. And I believe 2015 will be seen as a watershed year in this long war. I've had enough. We cannot be blind to the threat before us. ISIS is not contained. It is expanding at a great cost to the free world. In November, the group managed to conduct 3 major terrorist attacks on 3 separate continents in just 3 weeks. This is not a terrorist group on the run. It is a terrorist group on the march, and their ability to conduct external operations is growing. The administration is not doing enough to keep Americans from being brainwashed by groups like ISIS. There is too little outreach to vulnerable communities. There is virtually no effort here at home to combat terrorist propaganda directed at our citizens. And there are few credible off-ramps to peel radicalized young people away from the path to terrorist violence. This is unacceptable. Americans are being recruited by terrorist groups at the speed of broadband, while we are responding at the speed of bureaucracy. Our committee unanimously approved bipartisan legislation to accelerate prevention efforts in the homeland. In the wake of the shooting in California, I'm working to get this bill quickly passed. We also need to do everything we can to block terrorist pathways into our country and to keep Americans away from terrorist safe havens.